Further, Swamiji is saying, but there is condition. See how rigid the condition. Whatever action is performed should straightaway be totally offered at the Lord's feet regardless of results. This is called Anasakti Yoga, yoga of detachment. One should not think that if he speaks in such and such a manner, those who invite him for meals will probably not to do so in future, and so he should avoid speaking the truth. Or if I feel that by not speaking in a particular manner, those who offer me some money after the satsang will probably give up doing so, then that will amount to seeking fruits for one's action. A true sannyasi will invariably speak the truth under all circumstances, little caring whether someone supports him or opposes him. That means that the sannyasi is relieved of the bondage of give and take. Two persons join my camp and two leaves me. This making and breaking is bondage in itself. Someone is born to you, or in other words joins your family. You rejoice at his arrival by the beat of drums, and if some old person or someone else dies in your family, you mourn his loss. What was created has been destroyed. What was given has been taken back. When the very attempt to create or make is given up. What was given has been taken back when the very attempt to create or make is given up. It is called renunciation of fruits. There is no attempt to create or make anything, and when that attempt is not there, what difference does it make if someone leaves the family? This is called the state of sannyas or sannyas dasha. The intoxication of sannyasi is known to him alone. None else knows it. His intoxication does not depend on outside worldly objects. It does not depend on what he has lost or gained. It is an unexplainable state of his own inner exaltation and bliss. Lord Krishna says that you should perform all your actions in a spirit of total surrender. Lord Krishna says that you should perform all your actions in a spirit of total surrender to Him. Till you completely surrender yourself to God, you cannot offer the fruits of your actions to Him. How do the feelings of making such an offering arise? This happens only when you consider yourself as His servant. If you consider yourself as the master, the whole trouble and confusion arises. What happens when you consider yourself as a servant? Your responsibility ends and God comes to undertake the entire responsibility on His own shoulders. For example, some lady has cooked saag, spinach, and asked her servant to go and give it to a particular neighbor. Now the servant goes to deliver the saag, but the lady forget to put salt therein, and he is taking a saltless vegetable. Who is at fault? Not the servant, but the mistress. But the mistress is mistress after all and is absolved of all faults. The condition of a bhakta is such that even if she has cooked saltless saag, she is not at fault, as she has been surrendering all her action to the Lord's feet. The fault thus eventually shifts to the Lord, but no fault stays there. God is so powerful that all faults attributed to Him get burned to ashes. That is why He is called Patit Pavan. Patit means fault and Pavan means one who can transform and nullify the faults. I have already quoted Smarth ko nahi dosh gosain. This means that the bhakta who has surrendered all his actions to the Lord's feet incurs no sin. But for this one has to practice truth very rigidly and in all its depth. You have read that Ramchandraji went to Banvas and this resulted in Raja Dashrath's death as he could not bear his son's separation. So the sin of Raja Dashrath's death falls on the shoulders of Lord Ram, for the latter had not gone to Banvas, the former would not have died. But Ramchandraji does not incur any sin, for all his actions are an offering at the Lord's feet. Rama's life is the life of an individual who has dedicated his life for the sake of truth. Since he is devoted to truth and has surrendered all his actions at the Lord's feet, he does not incur any sin resulting from the death of Raja Dashrath. Ram means surrender to truth. So Lord Krishna says, "He who leaves everything onto my hands and surrenders the result of his actions to me incurs no sin." He who constantly remembers me with great devotion is dear to me. It must, however, be remembered in his connection that there is flaw in bhakti yoga. A bhakt gets involved in sin, but it is practiced as an offering unto the Lord, it becomes flawless. Constant remembrance of the Lord is, however, very essential. I have repeatedly told you that chintan, deep thinking is must in everything you do. Whatever action you perform, it has to be preached by deep chintan. So you see, Gyan penetrates into bhakti at this stage. Chintan is in fact Gyan. If you go on performing actions without proper chintan so as to whether or not you should act in a particular manner, you will turn into devotees with blind faith. Lord Krishna definitely advised you to shun such path. If a devotee is told that such and such thing will happen if he follows a particular course, a true devotee will do his independent chintan and give serious thought to the matter before accepting it. He will not just believe whatever another person says. Generally, the path of devotion is accused of blind faith. Sagun upasaks, devotees, actually follow the path without doing proper chintan, with the result that such devotion gets tarnished and is therefore not acceptable to God. Shraddha means purifying oneself. If you are following the path of Sagun Upasana, you will have to purify your devotion. I told you last time that I once, at the time of Ganesh Puja, which was to be continued for 10 days, my maternal uncle asked me to steal a bulb from the neighbor's house as the light was poor in our house. I had refused to do so and was severely taken to task for my refusal. One has to face such humiliation and disgrace cheerfully. I had refused to steal the bulb as this would have amounted to blind faith. What we are required to worship is the element of truth or Gyan. To steal a bulb from the neighbor's house and to illuminate our own house to perform Ganesh Puja was considered by me as blind faith. I had some understanding of this truth even at that young age. Therefore, while performing any action, one must do some chintan to ensure that the course followed by him is correct. Thank you. Continued tomorrow.